Hello everyone, I just wanted to talk a little bit about what I've been playing in the Ancestor League. So our league started Glacial Hammer with Trauma, and then after I got to endgame, I decided to switch to int-stacker, Wander. I played it for about a week. I finished all 40-40, got to 100, and I decided that it was a little bit boring, so I wanted to switch to something else. And I found this base on the trade site. It's only level 80, but it has the implicit that normally you would want on a wand, right? And this was up for like 20 chaos or something, and there's a couple reasons why I switched to this. So first of all, I bought it on a whim and kind of just wanted to see if I can craft it for cheap. I think I essence spammed the T2 lightning, which is the highest they can roll, in like 80 or 90 or something like that, and then I just locked prefixes and then unveiled chaos, and it hit a prefix, and then I unveiled the elemental pen, and then after that you just it's pretty straightforward. You just exalt and clean until you get 2 mods that is good. So I ended up getting very lucky. I got T1 crit chance on my first exalt, and then I got, I think, like cold res on the second one, and then I locked prefixes and then annulled the cold res, exalt again, I got chaos res, annul again, hit the chaos res, and then exalt again, got T2 attack speed, which is good enough for me. So I decided to fully invest into the change into this version. So there's a couple reasons why we're playing int-stacker at all in a league that want you to replace all of your stats. So the first thing is that the +1 power charge tattoo is pretty cheap. So that's a pretty large amount of power for very little actual investment. Also, a lot of the gears, since last time I played int-stacker, has just gotten a lot cheaper to craft. So you can pick up these these fractured intelligence gloves, boots, for very cheap. Something like 50 chaos the first week. I'm not sure what they are now, but they were really cheap to pick up. And another reason why int-stackers aren't as popular as something like Tornado Shot is because they actually don't want a Mage Blood. They want a Mage Blood for movement speed and attack speed and just general feels good, but you actually lose damage because you're losing the 18% implicit on your belt. So same with Strength Stackers, they actually do more damage with just a rare belt. And like I said, almost all the gear is actually rare. So you do use a unique helmet, unique shield, but other than that, pretty much everything is rare, so it's self-craftable. And the last time I played int-stacker Wand was, I think, in Harvest or something, and it didn't have instant leech, right? So we haven't had old Vault Pack for a very long time, and this is the first time I'm playing with instant leech again, and something with 10,000 ES pool and 17,000 evasion. Instant leech is pretty much is quite good for just mapping in general, and being curse immune is actually very useful for just like the Elk and Go, because you don't have to care about map mods. And because we're an attack build, we're affected by things like enfeeble and elemental weakness and temp change and stuff like that. So you being a build that uses Aziri's reflection rig normally is just being curse immune is just really good. So another reason why I switched to Smite, right? So I can show you right now on the POB. This is the final POB for my Wander, right? We're looking at just over 85 million DPS. If I switch to TFT Mirror Wand, it almost doubles my damage, right? So the break point for these builds are pretty insane, and that isn't to say that like my wand is bad, right? Like my wand is still like a pretty decent wand, like a 15-20 divine wand, but the difference between this one and the mirror wand is just such a large difference that to me there was just like no more meaningful upgrades to make without spending like something like 540 divines. Another reason why Smite is so good is because of the new Oppenheimer expedition node on the Atlas tree. It makes it so that you only have one explosion, and it's giant. So you just, if you're doing like a sort of like an Elk and Go strategy, doing just like Excellences and Expedition, you can just throw it down and Vault Smite kind of clears the whole screen for you. The only remnant that we can't take is lightning immunity for obvious reasons. So like I said, these implicit swords are quite cheap, so you should be able to pick them up and craft them up. And like I said, you don't even need to have like the T1 T2 suffixes, right? You can just multi-mod these and it'll be perfectly fine. Another one of the upsides is that we're not using Calm Spirit, which is in and of itself a downside. But because we're not using Calm Spirit, because we want into, you can roll non-vol skills, strike 2 additional targets, and you can also get lightning exposure on your gloves. So the reason that's so important is because the way Smite currently works is that there's kind of a bug. It's unintended, but they haven't fixed it for like a year, and I think it's been talked about on several YouTube channels where you can actually target next to the monster, and the ancestral call, the phantoms will actually strike the target with the melee portion of the damage, and then you can hit them with the AOE splash damage. So you can actually somewhat double up on your damage on a single target, and you'll see when I'm fighting like Cirrus or something like that. And another reason is shield charge is terrible for pretty much all types of maps. There are very few maps now that you can kind of just charge around in, and I don't run any of those maps. Like I don't do Strand or Beach or anything like that. I mostly do city squares and cemeteries and Crimson Temples, and those, shield charging in those are just not a very good experience. So I much prefer Leap Slam as a whole. And like I said before, this build actually loses a bit of damage with Mage Blood. It does make you faster, but because we already have 230% movement speed, the extra movement speed is like fine, but it's not super noticeable. And because we switched to melee, we actually we're no longer a Deadeye, so we're now a champion. So we get Fortify on hit, and we get to intimidate enemies, and also get a little bit of curse effectiveness. I mean, aura effectiveness, which is really nice. So what are some of the downsides? So the downside of this version, as opposed to the typical Doriani's prototype stacking build, is that this build, like I said, doesn't use Calm Spirit, so we don't benefit from the near perma uptime of Berserk, which can be super nice. This version is more expensive than the Doriani prototype version, and if you check on POE.ninja, I think I'm at like the second or the third highest DPS for Smite Ascendant. And the upside is like I don't get one shot by like lightning degen, right? And those builds pretty much always need a Mage Blood to feel really good. And yeah, so like one of the downsides, right? Like I said, it could be an upside, it could be a downside. If you really want to play a Mage Blood build at the end game, then this build is gonna lose a bit of damage with Mage Blood. So I'll just have the footage play in the background. It's able to do essentially all content, and I've had a lot of fun playing it. And if you haven't had a chance to play Vault Smite since it was released, I highly recommend it. It's the most fun melee skill in the game, in my opinion. It just has like a really nice, crisp play style, and it just feels really nice. So I highly recommend it. But as far as in-stacking is concerned, this is just a really cool league to be able to stack a bunch of attributes, and because of the way like spell damage converts into attack damage, you can actually scale just like universal damage quite well, and you can pretty much switch this to anything else and it would still do very well. Alright, and that's it. Thanks for watching.
Watch beauty crumble! Glorious flames! Why resist?
Why do you insist on continuing to exist?
Why run? What's the point?
Everything. Everything.
This city is nothing! You are nothing! Obliteration!
The edge of death, my heart precious. I am